And then when we
This is Mike Ogilvy here. I don't hear anyone talking. I'm up here in Riverside County on Zoom. So if anyone can let me know if they hear me.
yeah, so which, oh, there we go. Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, we were just muted until we start the meeting, but we can hear you loud and clear, so welcome. A little.
I know, this will be interesting this time. It's been what, 2.5 years? Since we've grown up.
The one issue we had is we can't go live on YouTube right now for some reason, but we're recording like 4. There's a guy at a flying collection machine. Club used. I think more of this just license issues. Permissions that. Yeah.
Yes, he's supposed to.
See, because I'm uploading to the city's website. Oh, you can't, she's going to get a movie in violation. Yeah. So we just, almost, we got one guy, one push out, bridge, Tom, so we got one more short one. The DA Gordon I know is going to be here, but he all shows up at 3:01. And he's golden will show up.
Yes.
I sure did.
Bring more odds. You might have it out for 350.
Did Gordon show up as guest? He's here
Okay, virtually?
virtually.
Okay, great.
Is he a panelist?
Yeah, he's a panelist.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay, he's a panelist.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, and Sandra Call is here as an attendee.
Yeah, just as an attendee,
Oh my gosh.
if you go to the, yeah,
That's
that's
Jim.
Jim? Oh my gosh. It's a ghost from the past. Oh my gosh.
Welcome. Good to see you. That is you, Dr. Aldrich.
Oh, I haven't seen you in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I was just gonna call you and see you still want to be in.
Yeah, well,
Good.
I just have a thing about Zoom conferences. I don't get anything out of them at all, and it's a waste, for me, it's a waste of time. Another person.
I also feel that way too, but sometimes we need one more person for it.
Yeah.
well, we have a form.
We do, we have a forum, and I have 2:59. I think I got it, once you start on time. My motto is, I don't care if you don't care if I start on time. All right, I had got 1,500 on the GPS. So, everybody ready? Here we go. I am now bringing this meeting to order live. This is the hybrid meeting of the Airport Advisory Committee for Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. One of the reasons that I wanted to do these live again is not only to see everybody's faces, it's just really a lot better for me. But I thought I wouldn't have to read these long disclosures, but no, I can't. So we call the meeting to order. Let's stand up and say the pledge of allegiance. And we'll read the oath. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Here we go. The title of this speech is Committee Meeting Access and Public Comment During COVID-19. Until further notice, meetings of the Airports Advisory Committee, hereby known as the committee, will be conducted pursuant to the provisions of California Government Code Section 54953, paragraph E, parentheses E, I'm sorry, added by Assembly Bill 361, which allows the committee to use teleconferencing and provides the public an opportunity to address the committee via a call-in option or an internet-based service option during a proclaimed state of emergency. The San Diego City Council on June 21st, 2022 declared an existing proclaimed state of emergency and that their finding applies to all boards, commissions, and committees of the city of San Diego. During the proclaimed state of emergency related to the COVID-19 pandemic and in the interest of public health and safety, some, if not all, committee members may be participating in the committee meeting via virtual teleconference platform. Members of the public in attendance at the committee meeting are encouraged to maintain social distancing. Additionally, alternative to in-person attendance or participating in the committee meeting are being provided. In lieu of in-person attendance, members of the public may participate and provide live comment via virtual attendance or written comment using the web form as follows. In person. In lieu of in-person attendance, members of the public may participate and provide comment via calling options. Internet service option or written comment using the web form as follows. Via virtual platform, members of the public wishing to address the committee under public comment in writing may submit a web form prior to the meeting. Instructions for word limitations and deadlines will be noted on the web form. Pursuant to open meeting laws, no discussion or action other than a referral shall be taken by the committee on any comment brought forth under the non-agenda public comment. To those members of the public in attendance via Zoom webinar, please click the button to raise your hand during the portion of the meeting you wish to comment on, to indicate that you would like to speak, and staff will enable you to speak and send you a prompt to unmute yourself in order. When staff calls your name, please state the name for the record, and you will have 3 minutes or time as allotted by the chair to provide comment, after which you will be placed on mute again. Offering phone-in testimony. If you are joined via phone, please press star 9 to raise your hand. Staff will call you by the last 4 digits of your phone number. When staff calls on you, press star 6 to unmute yourself and proceed with providing your comment. This information is available in alternative formats that can be requested by calling 858-573-1414 or emailing dreed@sandiego.gov at least 3 working days prior to the meeting to ensure availability. That it? Okay. I will now call the roll. I am Tom Reed, the chair. Mike Ogilvy.
Here.
Thank you. Buzz Gibbs, not here. Lisa Golden. No. Gary List. No. Chuck McGill.
Present.
Thank you. Jim Aldrich, also present. Thank you. Ron Lee. Nope. Okay. Rich Martindale.
Present.
Thank you. Dave Gordon.
He's joining virtually.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Here.
Thank you, Tom McCoy. Thank you. That is a quorum. Okay. Also attending this meeting, hopefully, are the City of San Diego Department of Real Estate and Airport Management, Airport Program Manager David Reed, filling in for Deputy Director Jorge Rubio, and members of the assigned staff. Members of the public can offer public comment on items in person by filling out. Oh, I've already read this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And also, hopefully in attendance would be MYS Power Joel. So
I don't think they're gonna be able to make it.
their staff, they're very short staffed. Okay, non-agenda public comment. We are on item 3 on our agenda. We will now take up non-agenda public comment. Do I need to read this? Per rule 2.6.
Yes.
Okay. We are going to read this into the record. Per temporary rule 2.6, non-agenda public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to communicate on items that are not on the agenda, but within subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. The public comment period for non-agenda public comment is now open. If you have already joined the Zoom webinar online or by phone, please raise your hand if you wish to speak. If you're watching on City TV or the live stream online and would like to call in the meeting, please call 1-669-254-52. When prompted, input webinar ID 160-624-5252. Raise your hand to speak, select and raise your hand, or press star 9. When Mr. Reed lets you know it's your turn to speak, unmute yourself by either selecting the unmute prompt that will appear on your device or by pressing star 6 on your cell phone or the phone. Mr. Reed, how many speakers do we have in the queue?
Do we have any in-person public comment?
Yes, sir. Please
Yes.
introduce yourself and let us know what you have to say.
Yes, my name is Nicholas Reed. I'm the new chair of the Fairmont Community Planning Group. I just wanted to introduce myself to all of you. I've been at this committee previously before COVID. Just want to let you know that we do function as one of the planning groups within the city of San Diego. We have currently 10 out of 16 members representing our community. We have a couple of projects that I want you to be aware of that are coming up. We have a 224 unit apartment complex that's looking to be put in the South Claremont neighborhood. That is being heard by the project review subcommittee tomorrow on the 13th, and then they'll have an informational hearing on the 19th of July, which is our normal meeting date. That is pretty much it. I just wanted to come and say hello. I'm an aviation enthusiast by nature, so Montgomery is kind of my little home little airport and whatnot. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to take any questions if you have any about what's going on with planning within the plan.
Mr. Reed, I knew I recognized you.
Yes, absolutely.
I said, I know that guy.
Yes.
Yes, we met at the.
We have, yes.
I am officially your.
Yes, and I'm aware of that, and yes, I will come here on a semi-regular basis, not often, but when I do have the time, I will pop in and say hello, and just provide just quick little updates for what's going on in Claremont. And then additionally, we are going through our community plan update. Our city planner said it's still being worked on. It should hopefully be done in the next couple of months or so. And additionally, we are looking to return to in-person here within the next 6 months. We're actually working on that next week at our main meeting to develop stuff for these two, just to begin the functions of this. That's why I'm here and happy to see everybody back. So
This is our first one.
Yes.
So you guys deal.
we're still on Zoom on a regular basis. So we've been doing that for a little over 2 years now. And it's been good for us, but we have a lot of community members that want us to return back to in person. Also some members as well, but there's also some other planning group members who prefer to stay on Zoom, which I respect. So we're looking to do hybrid at some point or another. So
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
thank you very much, folks. Appreciate it.
And you are free to stay throughout the meeting? Or?
Yes, I am. So yeah, I know these don't take more than an hour, so I know this.
Oh, cool.
Thank you very much.
And then, Charlie, do we have any virtual public comment on agenda?
No, we don't. There's nobody with their hand raised.
All right, Mr. Reed, I have a public comment submitted by Kent Cassidy. You asked me to read the record, if that's all right. I'm reading this on behalf of Kent Cassidy. He says, thank you, members of the AAC and the City of San Diego Airport. I apologize for not being here in person, but I am out of town today. Background, I have been a pilot attendant at N1 for 3 decades. I was initially involved in the effort to move the United Airlines hangar terminal, which is abbreviated UAHT, from San Diego Lindbergh to the Leatherneck Museum at Miramar. Then the museum was closed, so that plan was dropped. I then sought to have the UAHT moved to the San Diego Aerospace Museum at Gillespie. Unfortunately, the building was too large to fit within the runway setbacks, and the County of San Diego decided not to move the hangar to Gillespie. I was then involved in the effort to move the hangar to Montgomery, the best idea yet, he says. And I received very enthusiastic response from all parties involved, the City of San Diego, Crown Air / Executive Air Park, and most of the pilots at NYF who heard about it and were in favor of moving the building. Then the project was canceled. This is a tragedy for Montgomery because the hangar is a wonderful historical building that would be a huge asset in Montgomery and the general public. There's already money in the Terminal 1 expansion fund slated for its dismantling and reassembly. I am seeking clarity on why this plan was canceled. My request to the AAC or the parties involved in the decision to stop the plan to move the hangar to Montgomery. Let me see if this is the word. His request is for us to provide specific language in the rules and regulations that prevent this move, and an appeal to the AAC to re-examine the issue to see if there's any way to make this happen. He says, I would be happy to provide more details on this wonderful building and how it would be an asset to NYF at a future date. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Kent Cassidy. So noted. All right, so that concludes the public comment section. So we have the opportunity to comment on the public comment. Absolutely.
You could put, if somebody wants to apply to him for the contract to set around, we would entertain how to get it around.
Oh, yeah, okay. What's it called? Except I want. I'm necessarily for it. Okay, approval of minutes. Hopefully you've all had a chance to read the minutes. Do we have any comments or corrections on minutes, and do we have any public comment on this?
There's no public comment.
Thank you. I need a approval to move to approve. We have a motion to approve the minutes by second. Okay, we have a second by Chuck. So motion by Rich, second by Chuck. All in favor, raise your hands, please. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll have to count the virtuals.
We have Dave Gordon. Anybody else?
Ron Lee.
And Ron Lee.
Okay, excellent. The motion carries. Right. Agenda item number 5 is unfinished business. There are no unfinished items. Let's move on to agenda item number 6. That's all it's going to today. Yeah, what is it? What? Okay. This item number 6 is new business, which starts with approval of the airport advisory committee to hold future meetings in person or virtually. Mr. Reed, are there public comments on this agenda item?
New business, that must be a type of,
That's what I thought.
we already, we did the,
Okay, good. So we can skip right ahead.
so for actually new business, Enza Charles will be providing the presentation on, Matt's consent assignment of a new investor.
You have the floor.
Stan. Good afternoon, committee members. Today I'll be talking about Metropolitan Airport, or MAP as we know it, their project at Brownfield Municipal Airport. As you know, Brownfield is located in District 8 in Otay Mesa. Giving you some background, in 2006, the city issued an RFQ for a company to develop and operate an aviation business at Brownfield. 2 companies were shortlisted, and eventually Brownfield International Business Park executed an LDA with the city. In 2015, the LDA was transferred from Brownfield International Business Park LLC to transfer the LDA to MAP. Throughout the process, MAP obtained project entitlements and environmental clearances, and in 2021, the city executed the 59 lease and right entry agreements with MAP, along with an offset of rent agreement and exchange of access easements in which MAP is responsible for constructing a road for CBP north of the airport. Now MAP is proposing to enter into a joint venture with Industrial Realty Group LLC, doing business as IRG San Diego Airport LLC. And that the city approve the consent of transfer of rights agreement to assign its interest in the LDA to the San Diego Airport LLC, which is now the new entity, of which MAP will retain 57.2% interest and IRG will hold a 42.8% interest. If approved, the city will not release MAP from its obligations until either the termination of the LDA or receipt of the certificate of occupancies for the proposed building in the 59 lease and right entry agreements. Additionally, San Diego Airport will keep and perform all conditions in the LDA, including indemnification to the city and insurance requirements. As part of the due diligence processes, staff contacted 3 financial entities and 1 public entity. The 3 financial institutions have related that IRG has an excellent credit history with multiple secured and unsecured lines of credit. More importantly, these entities have confirmed that IRG has delivered multiple large projects, including the repurposing of the large former military installation. Additionally, the County of Sacramento stated that IRG was crucial in the conversion and repurposing of the airport space into the now thriving Sacramento McClellan Airport. So after conducting our due diligence, staff has concluded that IRG understands the importance of the project and has the financial capability to be MAP's partner. As such, recommends approval of the consent of assignment of the LDA from MAP to the San Diego Airport. San Diego Airport LLC also submitted updated conceptual designs for phase 1 of the project, which meets the intent of the RFQ and is representative of our broad national regional rich heritage. More importantly, it is inspired on structures and architects that uses open concepts with a pleasant space. Per the LDA, the DREAM will retain the right to review and approve all design plans for the project. What you see on this slide is the initial build out for phase 1. That's the one.
This is the initial build out, sorry, that one there.
That's the initial build out, okay. And this is the initial, the full build out is the next slide. To walk you through some of the team's inspiration, here are some open concepts from a prominent Mexican architect, Luis Barragan. Here's another example from Louis Kahn at the Salk Institute in La Jolla. And here's the botanical garden at Balboa Park, which shows indoor open air spaces. As you can see, the design elements incorporated here into the FBO concept are designed to be welcoming and create a sense of place, similar to the recent developments you may have seen here at Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport. In addition to the assignment of the LDA, staff has also requested council's approval to execute the 59 First Amendment to the flat rate ground parcel lease and right of entry agreement with San Diego Airport. The amendments are needed in order to include updated FAA provisions in the lease. The amendments would be conditioned on council's approving the consent of assignment of the LDA from MAP to San Diego Airport and the administrative assignments of the 59 flat rate parcel ground lease and right of entry agreements from MAP to San Diego Airport. There are 2 other agreements that will be carried from MAP to San Diego Airport. The agreement for offset of rent for the displacement of Aero Aubrey, a non-aviation business that stores and sells used vehicle parts. San Diego Airport will be responsible for paying advance rent to the city for the first 5 years after Aero Aubrey. The purpose of the agreement is to make the Airport Management Enterprise Fund whole for the temporary loss of rent from Aero Aubrey. And the exchange of easement access agreement will be assumed by San Diego Airport to build the road for CBP. With that, our 2 recommendations for council are for the consent of the LDA and the approval of the 59 lease amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chuck, question. Will this development include a new customs facility?
It will be including that space for them, yes.
It is part of the design of it to be able to have a space within that for persons.
That temporary building is going to be constructed.
So So, the temporary building is on hold for now because the construction of this is kind of imminent, and rather than the city spending funding on a temporary building, it sounds like CUP is going to wait for this facility.
Fantastic.
We still have it on hold in case we need to go that route, but it doesn't look like it will be.
So is there customs at Brown now?
Yes,
And it's,
in its current facility that it has been for,
right, you're gonna stay in a little building until this is developed out.
yes. They're hoping to break ground this year.
I ask a question? Sure, does this trigger any kind of equity share? Does the city get a 2% fee on this lease?
No. I knew that was going to be. The consideration, the leases don't apply and they're exempt because it's an administratively approved and MAP is retaining 51%
But
or more.
the minority share, doesn't that have a value associated with it that would trigger some kind of equity? Like the 40 to 49%?
Yeah.
That they to assign that?
I don't believe so, because there's no consideration in the LDA for any of it. It would only be on those 59 leases.
Two questions. When is this coming to council, and do we have an idea on who the FBO is potentially?
So it's documented for the land use and housing for 14th,
I think
Of July, or I'm sorry, August.
of July.
July, okay, so that's the all right.
Yeah.
And then and then goes to full council thereafter.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Then any idea on the FBO and who that could possibly be, or is that to still be determined?
As we understand it, the developer themselves.
Oh,
Maybe.
good, 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 that'd be fantastic. It's nice to have an independent organization, have more FBOs compared to some of the larger ones like.
Richie, do we have any background on why MAP is taking on a partner on this deal?
I really couldn't say. I'm pretty sure it's financial. That they just-
I figured either financial or area of expertise, I think, involved at Sacramento.
I think it's been both. So they have a large amount of experience in developing large property projects. For the example, of the Philadelphia Airport up in Sacramento, they did a fantastic job there. We've been in contact with them and talked about the work that they did, and they're happy with it. And also they have a large financial record.
Sure, financial burden always helps.
Yes. Those should be.
Any other questions? Anything online?
No.
Dave, go ahead for the street. Sorry, please go ahead with the rest of the staff report. Start off with my staff report before I turn it over to my awesome crew.
Do we need a recommendation? to go forward?
That was just an informational item. Thank you. Thumbs up. All right. For my staff report, I did Reed, program manager, and currently filling in for Jorge Rubio, our deputy director, as he is currently traveling for the SWAI conference in Sonoma, where he will be transferring his power as president to the next president of the SWAI. What's that? The Southwest AAA chapter. Airport. There.
American Association of Airport Executives.
I just didn't know, I didn't know what the SW was.
There's Southwest chapter, there's a central chapter. The next item, staff is currently working with our engineering and capital projects department to develop an RFP for a 5-year contract for planning, engineering, and design services for both Montgomery Gibbs Executive and Brownfield Municipal Airports in order to plan and design all of our ASIP projects, and we get those done in a more timely manner, allowing us to line up city processes with FAA deadlines, which has been a bit of a challenge. This will also include projects that may be eligible for bipartisan infrastructure legislation funding, and any type of capital improvement projects that we can get in there to meet the airport's needs. The third item, staff will be holding interviews this Thursday for the environmental biologist 3 position. We have 6 candidates scheduled for interview, so fingers crossed that we get a good batch. Everyone seems very well qualified, so we're happy with the list of candidates that we got. We have also hired 2 new employees. Carol Luna is a ground maintenance worker 2, and Juan Bazabal, who is going to be an airport operations assistant. We welcome them both to our team. Happy to have more hands on deck to manage both these giant properties. Also recently, we have had a few alerts and incidents that have occurred. There have been no injuries, very minimal impact to the operations of the airport. I just want to take a second to thank our staff for handling those professionally and responding promptly. It is greatly appreciated, and you're key to keeping this operation running during those critical times. We greatly appreciate that.
May I ask a question about that? Debbie, didn't you send out an email showing a picture of somebody at the airport?
Yes.
Did that person cause damage to the airport, or?
They walked right into our office in the back side of the lot.
And that's my next item. We have had a few security concerns recently. Our staff has handled them appropriately along with the assistance of SDPD. We'd just like to remind everyone to please be very aware of the security of the airport. You're our eyes and ears as well. We really depend on you guys because we can't be everywhere. So just be very vigilant of security around the airport. Another reminder, just to when you're coming in and out of the airport, stop and wait for those gates to close behind you. Make sure any fed gates you're going through are closed and secure. Those are the easiest ways for anyone to gain access to anywhere that they're not supposed to do. It just takes a couple seconds to wait for those to close. And I know it's not convenient, but it does happen a lot more than you think. And that concludes my staff report. Thank you for the question. For the staff members. Any online questions?
There are no online questions.
Thank you.
I will turn it over to Charlie.
Okay. I'll just make my way over here real quick. Good afternoon, committee members and everyone. There were over 27,000 flight operations in June, so that's a good thing. Signage for taxiway Echo and runway 23 were updated. We did mention that there was a couple security threats. That's why we changed the gate code. It helped to mitigate for that. David did mention a couple of the alerts. One of them was a Duchess that had a gear up landing. The left main and the nose gear extended, but the right main, or excuse me, the left main didn't extend. The nose and right main gear did extend. But there were no injuries, so that ended very well. Handled appropriately. And then lastly, I was able to attend the Aerospace and Aviation Days at the State Capitol in Sacramento as a board member for the ACA. It was really successful. We actually had a Cirrus SR-22 demo aircraft right on the steps of the State Capitol. So that was very amazing. There was a bunch of people coming by and taking pictures, and we had the tent set up with some of the students from the local STEM programs and EEA chapter, or EAA, excuse me. So all in all, it was a great experience, and we got to talk to about 45 legislators. We worked with the Aviation Caucus there, and we held an informative panel with the FAA and the industry there. So that was a great opportunity to promote aviation. So
Anyways, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any online?
Let me check that. No problem. Let me check.
You won't have to go run next time.
Okay, there's no question, or there is one panelist with a question. David Gordon has a question. Feel free to ask that now.
Yeah, Charlie, last month when you said you were going to that state conference, I think there's something in the minutes. I asked if you could find out about the state's aviation budget. Did they give you any information about that?
They didn't, they discussed it, especially the fuel tax was discussed. The FAA is working to find a solution to that. It's basically the state needs to take action. There's no direct action yet.
Okay, yeah, because the state's been, they were caught by AOPA taking money from the aviation budget and transferring it to other parts of the state. So I'm just wondering if they had talked about that at all.
Right, yes, it's a big issue. There's no direct conclusion or fix for it. The FAA is aware of it. You know, AOPA, like you said, had called that out, but it's basically in the hands of the state and, you know, everybody doing their part to influence them, I guess, so.
Okay, thanks, Charlie.
Sure.
Any other questions for Charlie? Going back to you, Mr. Reed.
I will turn it over to Mr. Andy Schwartz.
Good afternoon. Welcome back, everybody. I just have a couple items, and if I could, just to start, I'll start with, we have a gate down at Brownfield, gate number 1. We had some vandalism. The gate got pushed off the track, so it burned out the motor, and the chain came loose and all that good stuff. But just to piggyback off of what David said, a couple times, I mean, we go through this on a regular basis, and it just eats up our budget, like, tomorrow. We did have a situation where this is becoming more and more common. We did have a situation a couple times back where we had a gate that we tried to secure while we were waiting for the contractor to come out. And because we couldn't get that gate all the way shut, there was just enough space for somebody to get through. And we did have somebody come in the airport at night, got through that space, just walk around on the ramp. Like I said, this has become a little bit more and more common because I don't know about up here, but down at Brownfield, we have these homeless communities that happen around the airport now. So people get curious at night, they wander onto the airport. So very important that gates are working. Also, when you come in through the gates, just making sure it goes in. So fiscal year end, we did 2,000 short of 100,000 operations. We did 7,931 operations last year. Just a caveat to that, we had 2 weeks of ATC0 last year. So that would have averaged out to about 2,000 operations. We would have had almost a little bit over 100,000 operations. So we finished off with about, what was it? 98,008 operations. So just a little bit short of that. Last month, June 30th, we had our RSAT meeting. We had actionable items come out of that. So that went well. And then I think that's it. We're still talking about the new operations. That's all I have.
How many, like, I know that I also have the doors, they always talk about how many incursions, whatever. What were the stats on the?
So they went over it pretty quickly. But from what I can gather, I checked with Mark today, I think we had 2 VPEs and then we had 1 runway incursion.
So
Actually, not too bad. That's a vehicle pedestrian deviation. So that's where we have somebody out on a taxiway, gets out there without communicating with the tower with permission. So that would be an instance of that.
Is that, we had 1 incursion?
With 1 incursion, that was actually, I believe, a pilot taxi across the whole short line. Got on the runway, but he taxied back across. I don't think he went all the way out to the numbers and got back. That is an incursion.
Do the vehicle and pedestrian incursions happen at the west end where the control line is really close there?
They kind of happen all over the place, and some of them are kind of they kind of take us aback sometimes. A lot of times when we go out and investigate, we'll find out, like, for instance, you have a military down there, somebody coming from Miramar, you know, it's like, hey, why did you cross the movement, not movement line with that position? You know, we knew better. For some reason, we just went out there. So sometimes they just happen for you know, breaks and reasons.
And when you guys get new people, can you introduce them to your staff, to our staff?
Yeah, we're more than happy to. Yeah, they just started, so we're,
Well, I saw the new girl, she's been there for a week.
yeah, she's been here about a week. And then,
I think Juan's here if you want to put him on the spot. We can
do we
introduce
wanna do
him.
that?
Yeah, sure. On the spot. On the spot. Introduce him real quick here. Yeah. Right.
We're gonna unlock it. Come on out, Juan. This is Juan Basilone. He's our new operations assistant.
And one.
Currently, he's working between both Brown and Montgomery Field, so he'll be training over there.
I went to Miramar College, and I'm really thankful for Andrew Charles for this opportunity.
Well,
Welcome, glad to have you.
All right, thank you.
oh, we drag you out here, put you on the spot.
Right.
Yeah, so you're still conducting staff, of course.
That's
That's all I have, is this. One
I
question?
will turn it over to Enza to wrap up anything.
Good afternoon again. Alrighty, we already mentioned the map development of Brownfield. Addition to that, staff is finalizing the right of entry for the mitigation parcels. And staff is continuing working with the city attorney office to recapture the Albury police. For the San Diego Community College lease, that is being drafted. The term of the lease is going to be for 3 years with 2 3-year options with an annual fixed 3% increase. Appraisal market rent adjustment will be based on appraisal after the first 6 years of the lease. Improvements that will be required or included will be the roof coating, exterior painting, and a concrete pad in front of the hangar. At the Montgomery Field office and retail complex, we are preparing an RFP for services for a property management company. And the new chiller for the 8665 building was installed this past Saturday. We're expecting delivery of the boiler and the pipes in about 5 to 6 weeks. Actually, I think they're already here. Oh, well, look at that. So they're here earlier. The temporary chiller that's in the parking lot will be picked up sometime next week. At the 8525. Oh, okay. I thought there was a correction on that one too. At the 8525 building, we're working on a replacement for the cooling tower. And staff is working with the retail center roof replacement project. The request for quotes for the exterior refurbishment, painting and signage. We are in the process of awarding the contract. So hopefully soon we'll be able to start on that. We only have 3 tie downs currently available and no hangers. And staff is continuously working with city attorney's office regarding the Sheraton 4-point settlement offer. Thank you.
Great question. So what was the outcome of the property on Arrow Drive? I got to take the land and then someone else on the building and they're.
We sold that property.
They did
Is
sell.
that the ARC property that you're talking about, where the ARC is?
Yeah, and then money, did that go back into the price money? Is that how much?
Yes, yes.
They talked about it last week.
Yeah, we did talk about it. Well, I don't want to, but yeah, We did talk about it, last month, but I could get back to you and let you know.
Just a point of order, there's no representation of it in the minutes for the.
It was then the one.
The previous one, okay, thank you. Yeah.
Because with the border patrol not having to, seems like the airport's got a lot of money and a lot of needs, right? And,
We're trying.
Let's keep working.
What's the questions, Brett? Yeah, what's the progress on the operating board now? I know you said you're working with, you're working with the city attorney's office, but is it like imminent or is it a problem? Or-
So regarding that, I don't want to say too much. We are working with them. Things are moving ahead positively. But because the attorney's office is involved, I would refrain from saying too much.
But I mean, but it's moving forward.
Yes. You're taking all the proper and necessary steps to make sure it's forward as quickly as possible. But things are going positive.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
That concludes our staff report.
Why,
Yeah.
thank you.
There is a member of the air traffic control here. John, were you? What's the next item? For staff report.
John McFerrin, with Montgomery Tower here, also NACA, union. So, let's see, well, so we all kind of hit some of the big basics. The FAA uses this big, long formula to calculate what we call traffic complexity index, TCI, for us. And it takes into consideration volume and complexity of the airspace and other surrounding airports. Montgomery is the top general aviation airport in the nation. Wow. So based on volume and complexity, this is it. We're the peak. The people that come into play are Grand Forks, actually, Tubero, Deer Valley, some of those larger airports. We did what, over 300,000 last year. We're already up. I think at the end of June, we were looking at the numbers almost 7%. Already this year, above last year's number, which was record. So for like the 1970s, I think. Yeah, when the rules were a little different. We could clear multiple people for takeoff at one time. You can't do that anymore. Okay. There you go. But yeah, traffic numbers still going up. Our staffing here in Montgomery Tower is going down. We currently have 10 controllers right now, fully certified controllers, 1 training. The training is temporarily halted, waiting additional training. And as of next month, we will go down to 9 controllers. We're losing 1. As a reference, we need 8 minimum a day just to have properly. If any of you all saw, even this morning, we had to shut down the tower for 30 minutes because we just don't have controllers. Due to COVID issues lately, we've been dropping the flies. We're minimum staffing right now, it's not like we're. So,
What's on the right to getting more people? It's gonna be tough.
we do have 2 more guys slated to come here. We are literally waiting on HR to just submit the paperwork. And then as soon as they submit the paperwork, they literally put their name on the signature and they're here waiting that day. But we're waiting on FAA HR right now, for at least one of those. The other guy shows up in September, but our training pipeline is about a year. This is one of the busiest airports around, and we're moving some traffic, and it's not easy to train on. So it takes a little bit of experience.
Would it do any good if somebody from the committee, like me, called FAA HR and said, hey, step back?
Yes, I would love to. I don't know what the answer is. Everyone in the FAA, the regional office, even knows that we're struggling to staff this place right now. But we're kind of limited on a Congress negotiated number and adjust it. And there are working groups right now to try and up that number. But it's just taking a very long time because no one can agree on the same number for the FAA side. So hopefully whenever that agreement comes on, we have a request in for 20 controllers. Again, we're at 10. 10 right now, so that's almost double what we actually need to run the operation safely. We are trying to get more supervisors. That's more of a temporary fix for us. And just having an extra set of eyes up there because we're so busy moving so many planes, that'll help a little bit. But again, that's only a temporary fix. That's only supervision, not actual control.
What's the primary?
So we're losing one guy next month. He's just transferring to another tower that I don't necessarily say that it's more need, but there was opportunity for the transfer. Other than that, one guy recently, like, I'm done. This is it. She's too busy. I'm done. Bye. So, I mean, it's a stressful job, air traffic, especially around here. You have a kind of mix of pilots that are learning, aren't really listening, no instructing going on. People that fly once every 3 months, so it's they're not current. Their skills are not up to date like you Lindbergh or LAX. Those guys, they do it professionally. They're on top of it. Around here, people get lost very easily with Foss, Miramar. It's just to the north of us. Our runways look identical, and they have concrete runways, big white concrete. They're easy to spot. People go towards those runways instead of the asphalt runways that we have here. They're darker, kind of blends in. I will say the new rotating beacon helps out a lot. I use that all the time. I just go randomly, even during the day, if someone's struggling to see glimmering, turn on the rotating beacon. In the daytime, it is now an effective use of that new beacon. It is bright, and people can see it like 60, 70 miles an hour. It's great. So, whatever. But that is what it is. That really helps a lot. It turned on.
One more question.
Yeah.
Does the salaries go up commensurate with the complexity of the number of issues?
It does, but based off of the stress level and the increase in volume, I don't think it's nearly enough. I mean, as a comparison, we're almost running as many operations as LAX. And we're a daytime, what we consider more of a daytime airport. We run most of our traffic between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And we're going upwards of 200 operations an hour. People want to go fly, and people want gunner. People are very upset with us even today because we've had to reduce operations. They want gunner, they don't want to go somewhere else. They want to stay here and they want to do operations.
You guys, I think, you guys were probably the fourth busiest airport or something like that last year, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, we were.
It's insane.
We were out there. I think we saw. I can't remember. It was like in the top 20.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by it at all. I mean, you guys are insanely busy. I mean, it's a compare between LA and LA. I know a lot of controllers, so they look at it. They're pretty surprised.
Yeah. Getting people here is hard for us staffing wise. San Diego is not a low cost of living area, even though we do get a higher locality rate. To San Diego, the housing market with everything now due to COVID has really shot up. And if less people are really from around here, surrounding airports, and they are already established, we're not getting applications. Right now. Even though we've jumped up in pay, people still don't want to come here because the cost of living is so high that they're going to struggle to just live here.
Well, if there's anything that we can do to help you, please reach out to me. I didn't know that it was going to be here, but I wanted to go on record and say you guys are on your game. The controllers are so skilled. They'll have a Learjet, a Stearman, a Piper Cub, and 3 Cessnas. Know what they're doing. They keep them all like conducting. And this is